You guys, we got this. Bring it on!
In the aftermath of Moana 2, I can't help feeling like we received more questions than answers, the most pressing one concerning Moana's death and the nature of her revival. In the sequel, Moana gives her life lifting Nalo's curse on the island of Motufetu. She is mourned by Maui and her ancestors alike until she is touched by magic, revived, and given the powers of a demigod. While these new skills seem like they're bestowed by the spirits or the ocean, they are actually the gods granting Moana their favor. I'll be the first to admit that her new skills are well earned, but they're still shrouded in mystery. With little knowledge about the kind of demigod Moana will become, I want to use today's video to discuss what her powers could be.
Can I get a chee-hoo?
Number 1. Shapeshifting. One of the mythical powers shown most throughout the Moana franchise is Maui's ability to shapeshift. With help from his magical fishhook, he takes on new shapes and forms to help him navigate trouble, including a shark and a giant hawk. While these are his favorite forms, he can transform into other creatures as seen in Moana 2, including an incredibly small fish to a massive whale. Later, when we meet the goddess Matangi, she has a connection to bats. While we don't witness her transforming outright, she does fly and has a cloak that is reminiscent of a bat's wings. From that train of thought, I wouldn't be surprised if Matangi could shapeshift, which may be shown in later installments. If this is true, then it's possible that every god may have been able to transform or have a connection to a specific animal. As a demigod, Moana may find herself drawn to and represented by a worldly creature that she may transform into one day. It's also worth mentioning that Moana's ancestors returned to the world as spiritual animals, and we'll discuss with their predecessors as such. Moana's grandmother, Tala, claims she will return as a manta ray after her death, and she makes good on her promise. Moana's other ancestor, Tautaivasa, visits her numerous times as a whale shark. As Moana briefly dies in the sequel, her soul may have passed into the spirit realm. In doing so, she may have already discovered the creature she'll become after death. As a wayfinder and following the theme of her people, I suspect that Moana's animal form will have a connection to the ocean. Many creatures, such as dolphins, whales, and sharks, migrate long distances and travel across the ocean. Due to this, I suspect her first animal form will fall into one of these categories.
Sail to new skies and reconnect our people across the entire ocean.
Number 2. Voice of the Gods. Although Moana came from a humble island, she was destined for greatness from the very beginning. Not only does she come from a long line of chiefs, but she also had a connection with the ocean from a very young age. She later is given the heart of the goddess Te Fiti and sets off on a lone voyage to restore it. Along the way, she meets the god's other chosen, Maui, and helps him forge a new path for himself. When Moana restores Te Fiti's heart, she returns home and becomes a true wayfinder, partaking in expeditions across the sea that lead her to dangerous and cruel gods, such as Nalo. Matangi also claims that Moana has all the gods talking, meaning they are paying attention to her actions. They later honor her sacrifice to save Motufetu by restoring her life and making her a demigod alongside Maui. Their interference shows that they stand by Moana's decisions, respect her capabilities, and will continue to show her support in the future. It seems to me that the gods have always favored Moana and chose her to help reconnect humanity from before her birth. Therefore, her becoming a demigod through an act of selflessness may have been her birthright and a predetermined part of her destiny. As Moana is so favored by higher powers and has already met more than one god, it's possible that she will become their liaison for the human world. There are very few gods in the franchise thus far, and they keep their interactions with humans to a minimum. That role seems to fall on demigods like Maui and now Moana. She may become the voice of the gods, acting as a bridge between their two worlds. In doing so, she could warn her people of incoming danger from entities like Tamatoa, or spread good news and blessings from the more virtuous of their spiritual guardians.
You get a chance to meet your hero.
You are not my hero, and I'm not here so you can sign my oar.
Number 3. Control of the ocean. When we consider what powers Moana will inherit, the most obvious answer is an innate ability to control the ocean. Aside from forming a friendship with the ocean from a young age, including being able to understand it, Moana has always been drawn to the water. She doesn't think twice about sailing past the reef into dangerous waters and embracing an entirely new world that she has only dreamed of. The ocean, in turn, is there to help her on her journey, oftentimes her only companion. At the end of Moana 2, she uses her oar to blaze a path through the water, as if she's creating a current that will pull her ship in the desired direction. The scene implies that Moana's demigod power will allow her to manipulate and control the ocean. which in my mind is an interesting premise as the ocean is written as a sentient entity capable of emotional intelligence and choice. I would like this version of the narrative if Moana could further communicate with the ocean, perhaps through touch, allowing them to pass thoughts, feelings, or intentions between one another. In this way, Moana could influence the ocean to do her bidding. With this ability, Moana should never encounter the problem from the sequel, where the ocean was unable to reach her during Nalo's storm. In the next film, we could witness Moana being the one creating massive waves, whirlpools, and hurricanes. In doing so, she can propel her crew through the ocean, stand against enemies, and protect innocent islands from threats.
It's my job as a wayfinder to break the curse and reconnect our people.
Number 4. Navigation. Returning to the scene where Moana charts a path through the ocean with her new abilities, it's also possible that she has abilities tied to navigation. Motunui's people were once notable wayfinders, sailing across the ocean to find new horizons, to find new locations and civilizations. However, the last great wayfinder, Tautaivasa, was alive when Nalo planted his curse on humanity, sinking the island of Motufetu. In an attempt to reconnect his island with his neighboring people across the ocean, he set off with his crew to reach Motufetu, but he never completed the journey. Moana is the only wayfinder to come from Motunui in decades, which is a prominent part of her character and a driving force for her decisions. Later, when Moana meets Matangi, the goddess claims that the former wayfinders never knew where they were going. The point of their voyages was to find something new, which required venturing off the beaten path and getting lost. Moana later takes Matangi's advice when diving into the ocean to reach Motufetu, a feat that ultimately lifts Nalo's curse, but costs Moana her life. As a testament to her determination, the gods may have bestowed Moana with the gift of navigation, allowing her to chart a course through any body of water or untouched land. In doing so, they would have made her the most competent wayfinder, and the perfect person to search the globe for other civilizations.
You're gonna love it.
I don't love anything. I'm gonna eat this chicken.
Number 5. Connection to the spirits. My final guess is that Moana will have a profound connection to the spirits. The films have already laid the groundwork for this, as Moana consistently reunites with her late grandmother when she needs advice and receives visions from Tautaivasa. Moana's ancestors believe in her capabilities enough that they send her to finish what they started, despite knowing the risk it could pose. They later join Maui to pay their respects and mourn Moana, an act that is incredibly moving and bittersweet. Moana interacts with the spirits more than any other character in the franchise, and it's possible that she'll forge an even stronger connection with them now that she's become a demigod.
Hey, it's okay, we're dead soon.
All right, break time's over. Get up.
With the potential of a third film already hinted at by the mid-credits scene, I think it's likely that we'll see more of Moana's newfound powers in the near future. With abilities that rival Maui's, she may be the only one capable of standing against Nalo and protecting humanity. While the film reminded the audience that Moana isn't a princess, she is the only Disney princess that has received blessings beyond her ancestors. And that makes her story all the more engaging for old and new fans. With 2 adventures behind her, defeated gods included, I look forward to where the ocean may take this new version of Moana next.
To finish what they started.
Moana, show our people just how far we'll go.
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
Is the place where Grandma showed me who we are.
She said to grab Maui by the ear.